Happy Saturday, everybody, and welcome to a weekend edition of Woodbine Racing Live. My name is Lisa Blow, and I'll be joined shortly by Jeff Bratt. As Chad pointed out, we have that equipment change tonight with Jeff. You might want to make a note of that in your programs this evening. I found a short sleeve shirt in the closet. It kind of feels like a taste of spring. Today, the weather, Jeff, is about 17 to 20 degrees, depending on where you were. The sun came out for a moment, which was lovely, and then all of a sudden it started to rain. Now, when I drove in today, rainy, very, very windy. Yeah. So we'll see how that plays out with the track.
But rain and wind, I'm not a meteorologist, but that usually means no fog. So we're pretty happy about that because it was so tough for track announcer Chad Rosema last night. Extremely tough, obviously, for the drivers and the horses too. But now it lays on to the track maintenance crew because we're going from minus 14 to plus 14 and to just riding this wave of what is very, very, tricky conditions. But for us, it felt great. Now, I saw something today, Elisa, that I don't think I ever saw before.
What?
So I'm sitting there, I'm watching the Canada baseball game, and I'm looking at the backyard. I'm like, there's smoke coming from my house.
Uh-oh.
And I'm literally walking around thinking there's a fire.
Yeah.
You know what it was?
Yeah.
It was
the evaporation
off the snow.
Yep. Yeah. And it's the same here when you start to climb up while flying. It's the same thing. It's like fog, but it's just the snow, melting
crazy.
and evaporating. And it's pretty neat. And we're going to be in for this for the whole week, which is great. Enjoy it. And then I understand we go back to some cold conditions, but it's March, and that's what you have to look for in March in Ontario. The other thing today, don't forget tonight after you watch the last race, put your clocks forward. Now some automatically do it now, but remember back in the day when you had to go and change all the clocks in the house and then get the manual out on your car to figure out how to do it on the clock in the car.
As you know, I'm a touch OCD-ish. So if the microwave and the stove at the time is
doesn't match,
drives me batty.
Jeff, that's very hard to do to make that match.
It can be done. It takes you about an hour to do it, but it can be done.
It takes about an hour to do it. Wow. We got an Open 2 tonight for the boys. Looking forward to that one. That'll go as race number 9 on the program, and the return of Bruno No for a new outfit. Now, Dave Maneri, as we heard in the changes with Chad, is letting the hobbles out a couple of inches. I can only imagine that's because this horse has grown.
Yeah, and you know what, Lisa? We're going to take a look at that qualifier. That is one of the best qualifiers I have ever seen this horse had last time out. Just so powerful. And the horse that finished second that qualifier and was absolutely no match at all for Bruno No was Caviar and Crackers.
Who won yesterday. Yeah. The thing with yesterday is we take a look back at what happened last night, and there's really not much to show you visually, was that, we really can't tell you what happened in races. So for trip handicappers for next week, you're not really going to have much to go off of at all, except hopefully a chart line that is accurate. But favorites went 5 for 11 on the program. Louis Waugh, James McDonald, both with 3 winners on the card, but also a really good night for a young conditioner here from out east, and that's Beau Ford, who had 2 winners on the program.
And both were kind of stylish in their victories, too, judging by the chiclets, at least, because that's all we had really to go on. And Angostura Hanover, I never give this horse enough respect. She's now won 3 consecutive Opens. And this is the only portion of the race that you're going to see, because that's all we can show you. Your girl, So Much More, raced very well to finish in the second place position, and Absolution finished in third.
Well, I think we were all jumping back onto the Absolution bandwagon, okay, James, second time, we got to get there now. But, like I said, I think a lot of horses are going to have excuses from last night, that they either just,
big time.
Had problems out there themselves. I was worried, too, what if you're that close to somebody else and the horse in front of you makes a break and you can't even see it happening? So hopefully, I'm sure there was a lot of chatter out there.
The one bad breaker was Madam X, but she was way on the outside when it happened.
And that's the safe move. Just get out of the way.
So that was good from that point of view too. But so much better when you can actually see what's going on.
Yeah, we promised you should be able to see them tonight. The good news is tomorrow you'll probably see the first couple of races without lights.
I know.
So that means that that the summer is hopefully fast approaching. 12 races in store for you this evening. 3 pick 5s, an early, a mid, and a late. So that's exciting, and a big carryover in that jackpot high 5 for the final race on the program. Okay, let's talk about tonight's races. And we'll start first with the opener on the program to kick off the $75,000 guaranteed pick 5. We've got Pacers for the first race in a field of 10. Last week, we played Blue Bar, and Blue Bar's back in here tonight. You get a horse coming in off of a third place effort in behind Century Lucifer, who he has to face again this evening. He'll leave from the 9-hole. I was kind of thinking Beau Ford could be hot, and he's got this Gigi's Dream, Tell It Like It Is. And most of the time when we see these Tell It Like It Is, they're coming from the Jody Cullen barn. She seems to get quite a few of those. But Gigi's Dream is a new one here to Womo. And as you saw last night, this barn had 2 winners on the program.
A little bit of a still date, which isn't really ideal. You don't know how the shipping went up, but the way the barn's going, you have to respect the horse.
That's right.
You know, just the barn's going so good right now, and certainly a very welcome addition to our local scene here. You know, with Blue Bar, I think it's a case, Lisa, of this is just me, my own opinion. I like this horse coming from off the pace myself. I understand why Travis had to cut it last time. He had post 9. This horse now draws in a little bit towards the inside by 1 notch, post position number 8, but it's not, you know, I'd love to have post 6 and not post 8, but, you know, it's kind of one of my favorite angles to play too. And Randy, you know, we were talking about this with Randy when he first came on to this job. Elise and I were telling him from a betting point of view, some of our favorite angles to play are beaten favorites because, you know, I think we're a little bit too harsh to them if they have a bit of a bad day at the office, and Blue Bar had that. Well, it wasn't a bad day. It was just not, you know, just wasn't at his best. And I think he could be a whole lot better. And I think for him to be this big of a price on the line at 8-1, what is he right now?
12 to
1 right now. So it's Bold Spirit that's taking the bulk of the support for the Marfisi outfits.
Well, and he beat or finished second to Cold Creek Queso, who was supposed to win that race. So, you know, he has a positive frame of reference. But we did catch up with conditioner Beau Ford. He helped us yesterday with some inside scoop on one of his new horses, and he's going to help us out here again tonight with Gigi's Dream.
I really like this horse. I kind of, you know, fell for him the day he walked in the barn. He's a really well put together individual, has a presence about him. He got a pretty good cooker there the day before the ownership group had purchased him. And, you know, he got some time in between that. I had him to Mohawk last Saturday and got a real good mile into him in the bike. I was happy with him. You know, he looks like on paper that it's a really good spot for him to start out his Canadian racing career. He's another horse that, you know, he came and I think he might have had he showed signs of why he might have had to go a tough trip his last time out, you know, that he's had a little bit of a track rash and that sort of thing. So I don't think we've seen his best effort the last time, but I've been very happy with what I've seen from him so far. I mean, obviously, Louis and I have had some success in the past with a horse with this ownership group in Dusty Lane Levi. So hopefully we can replicate a little bit of that magic again on Saturday night. But I'm really looking forward to racing this horse and seeing what he's all about. And hopefully he's good enough that he's going to be able to do.
Okay, that's some good information.
Absolutely.
One thing about this guy, he doesn't hold back. I mean, he tells you everything that's going on with these horses, and I love that, the honesty from this conditioner. I put the horse up on top because I figured, same thing, you know, we talk about this a lot. Tonight, maybe we're able to get a bit of a price.
Yeah, and 3-1, so still not a bad number right now at this point. I actually think this is a very competitive opener to start off. You know, sometimes in the opening race, you get like a 4-5 shot and stuff like that. Not the case in here. I don't think you're going to have a heavy favorite in this spot. This Century Lucifer got a terrific drive last time out from Tyler Borth to pull off the victory, and now has to go way towards the outside. And Magical Bet, I wasn't sure what to do with that one either. I can make a strong case for a bunch in this race. I went 4 deep in my pick 5 ticket to start off.
Yeah, this is not an easy way to start off the program tonight. Let's
we
go
have
to
a
race.
Scratch in
We
that
do?
race now. Yep,
Who?
just found out. The 7 Mike, producer Mike. Like a King is
like a King is
lame.
well, he was lame last week, so looks like they just haven't got it under control with this horse. Okay, let's go over to race number 2, second half of the early double. Now, things I think might get a little easier here as far as handicapping goes, because now we're looking at, you know, horses who are non-winners of 1, and I feel like tonight should be the night for PL Taco. Second last start out behind the Ready. The Ready was a horse who was ready to go.
Yeah.
That was a walker horse, and when they got in behind the gate. That horse was under a full head of steam and was a no doubt about it winner. This horse just simply best of the rest.
Burt Renault drove on that day, and they were able to pull off the victory. And you look at all these lines, and this is what caught me off guard a little bit when I was doing my initial handicap with PL Taco. You've got all these PP lines, and the horse only raced twice.
Yeah.
Because you have all these vet scratches, or not vet scratches, scratches, 2 for weather, 1 vet. You have all these qualifiers and stuff like that. And last time was sent off as the favorites and made a bit of a miscue, I thought, when drifting down the stretch, but that might have just been tiredness more than anything. And now it was a real positive race. And as you said, I don't mind the fact the horse lost on this particular occasion. So now we're going first up, and these two are going to be throwing it down the entire way, all the way down the lane, as a matter of fact. It was a really, really fun race to watch in here. And look at Burt. He is just a statue right now. He knows he's got some real go on the inside, and here comes PL Taco. And this is major improvement from that first start to the second. And the one thing that has really helped out this horse and continues to help him out here today is he's drawn perfectly in every one of his races. And he's still coming right now at this point, but now he's going to start to drift just a little bit right now. And I don't think that's anything physical. I just think the horse is a little bit tired at this portion of the proceedings. And the winner was just too good. Yeah. But I'm with you. I just think that PL Taco is going to be really, really tough. I had a chance to catch up with Paul McKenzie, and we talked about Louis the Legend today. Yeah. And I said to Paul, judging by the qualifier, still green. He goes, yeah, very, very green.
Yeah, but he has a massive excuse, too.
Right, he stepped on the wheel.
Stepped on a wheel.
Well, he got interfered with last time out, right?
And stepped on a wheel.
Yeah, so I think the 5 Louis the Legend could be a major contender. And who knows about this concern? You know, I watched that replay at Flamborough. It was an easy win. I don't know what was in behind the horse, but looked pretty good doing it.
Yeah, and we've seen that before, right? Where they take them to Flamborough, they get a win there. It's like a paid workout. Then they come here and they're able to win on the big oval. But I agree with you. I think, it's like for us when we're doing thoroughbreds and we have a horse who maybe fell in a race and then he comes back and we're like, we just want to get him around the track, have a positive experience. I think that's kind of the case for Louis the Legend, because that's a lot for a youngster to take in. He gets interfered with, he steps on a wheel. It's just not a positive experience, right?
And he made a big move on the turn too, and he just kind of got a little bit tired, and that happened. So it's, but still, I think you saw some potential in that race.
Yeah, and it's just a mental hurdle maybe now for him. We'll see what he does here tonight. So that is the second race on this evening's card. Let's go over to race number 5. Fifth race tonight is for 4-year-olds and younger. Nominators of 2 or $15,000 life, with a big group of 10 to compete in here. I'm excited to watch Count on Gord go tonight for Chris Matthews. He's been a fun little horse to watch. A perfect 2 for 2 in his 3-year-old campaign. Last year as a 4-year-old, he did race a few times, but he is has been a young boy who's turned into a man and has found the winner's circle a couple of times. They missed last week. That's fine by me. They're back here tonight, fresh and ready to go. I think the concern would be a horse like Fire Control, this Dave Fry horse that ended up finishing 3rd last start.
Great segue, because that's going to be the replay that we're going to focus in on here. And you spoke of this yesterday too. You have to be very, very careful when you see these non-2s. So the horse last time it was in a non-2 or 30,000 lifetime. Now we're in a non-2 or 15,000. These are dramatically easier races. And Fire Control made up a ton of ground. And this was not expected either, because the horse was a big number on this day at odds of 19-1. As we have another blizzard replay to look at here. If it's not a blizzard, it's fog. I just want a clean replay for once. But anyways, we'll just keep an eye here on James. So right now he is somewhat third over. He's the one horse in here, and now I'm going to tip out. Just watch how this horse finishes up in this race. I'll tell you, this Fire Control came home really, really nicely. 27-3 last quarter. We're never going to get to the top 2 in this spot, but, kind of best of the rest in here. And despite the challenging conditions, still comes home really, really nicely. So, and what I like, too, is major threat. And that McElroy, we're going to see that one coming up in the nightcap. I think those are 2 pretty nice horses, as a matter of fact. So I'm with you on Count on Gord. I think he's got unlimited potential. And the fact he beat a Maneri horse last time out, that's why he was such a big price on that particular occasion.
Oh, it's a clean sweep for the 3. Count on Gord. He's looking to count to 3 tonight, 3 times in the winner's circle. All right.
That one of my favorite characters from Sesame Street.
I knew you'd get it.
Yes.
Race number 6 on the card is where we play the mid-pick 5. We have 3 pick 5. on tonight's program because we have 12 races for you. So this one with a smaller group, there's 8 to compete, and we have 4-year-olds and younger non-winners of 1. Now, you get some interesting horses here tonight. For example, we've got Solidarity, who has come off of a couple of qualifiers. He was racing down in the United States last year, competing as a 2-year-old just on 3 occasions, but, racing nonetheless. Has a couple of qualifiers, which both Jeff and I like, 2 qualifiers as compared to 1, and both those qualifiers he had James doing the driving, and we know James doesn't gas him in the qualies.
Right. The typical James qualifier is take the horse to the back and have a very comfortable finish, but just go on at the end of the race.
Yep.
And just finish up really, really nicely. Now, the reason I picked this replay is, and I want to kind of get your opinion, I thought James kind of asked this horse a little bit in this visual that we're going to show you right now. Now, in his defense, they were absolutely crawling up front, and they did come home very, very nicely in here. But I just thought that James gave the horse a couple of reminders just to say nothing major, but I do think that Solidarity was asked to go a little bit in here. But we got to pass them all at this portion of the proceedings. And we're eventually going to finish in the second place position. So you can make a strong case this horse finishes the best of anybody. Although the winner, I thought, looked pretty good on this occasion. Just watch James. He's going to kind of shake the lines here, just coming up in a couple of seconds. Right there. He's kind of asking. Right there. Nothing major. Nothing major by any means.
Just a couple of taps.
But just a couple of taps. But the horse finished nicely, I would say. It was a good qualifier. Now you get on to Lasix in here. Now, can he win right off the bat in here? He probably can.
I think so.
I don't think this field's all that tough. I have gone towards my leading man, who I thought woke up last time out, did cause some interference, as we saw in there. But I'm going in that one's direction. I went 4-5 in this spot. And other than that, I'm not too afraid of anybody else. Famous last words.
Yeah, I put Solidarity up on top as well. We have another one too, Bar Down Brisby, who's a Russ Ellis trainee, second last start out on February the 28th. And again, we caught up with Daryl Thiessen to ask him about that last start and really how it impressed him.
Biggest shock on my account of the horses I'm driving right now. I did not think I could be second with them the other night. If I was to talk to you before the first time I drove him. So he was 4th 2 weeks ago, raced great, and then second was just unbelievable. He raced his heart out. So I think you have to, it's a tricky horse, John. You want to be aggressive with him because he can be on the lazier side, but you also, that doesn't work every week either. So, he can be a little bit trickier that way. Russ is doing an incredible job with him. I think he can get the job done this week. I really do.
Well, some good news there from driver Daryl Thiessen, who was pretty ecstatic with the performance by Bar Down Brisby last week at 40-1. He ended up finishing second, and he is going to, can't be right. That's race 7. I knew it. I was going to say, I didn't put him on top.
Well, we can change that.
Yeah, no, this is race 7. We're talking about race 6.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, we can change that.
We can change that. We're just going to go to race 6 selections here. They're coming.
Any minute.
Our poor graphics guy, Jeremy, he was involved in an incident today at a gas station.
He was.
It wasn't his fault, though.
Well,
a customer was complaining about the price of gas
to
the person behind the desk who doesn't set the gas prices. So Jeremy was a little flustered.
There is no point arguing with these guys, and we are just finding out about a late scratch in this race too. The 8-horse Theo's buddy. He's at home under the covers. He's a 6 scratch from this one. All right, so that gets us down to a field of 7 in race number 6. Now we'll move ahead to race number 7 on tonight's card. And you got that sneak peek of our selections there in that race. 5-year-olds and younger non-winners of 3 or 62 and change life with the field of 10. Now, you talked about McElroy. He is in this spot with a tricky 9-hole here tonight, but he's been able to work from the outside and do pretty well. When he had the 8-hole a couple of starts ago, he won. And he's a monster of a horse, too. We're kind of referring to him as like a dinosaur, Tyrannosaurus Rex. But Long Shot Panic gets an interesting driver change. Obviously, Jameson had some decisions to make. He sticks around with McElroy. You can understand that. But one of his regular drives needed a driver, and it's James McDonald who picks up the 3 Long Shot Panic.
The problem is our good buddy Long Shot Panic never wins.
He's a long shot.
He never wins. And he does have a mark of 51-4 here, but I just wish he won a little bit more often. Now, we're going to take a look at a replay that we just saw, but I want to change the focus for you a little bit because I want to now change the focus to Major Threat because I love the drive that Daryl gave this horse on this day because Daryl went right after the favorites. He threw it down and he said, you're going to come and have to beat me in this spot, and they couldn't. And you can make a strong case that this horse had the more difficult of the trip between this one and McElroy because here's a look at Major Threat on the outside. On the inside is McElroy, and Major Threat was first up for a long time, was actually second over, and then inherited the first up position on this occasion, and then eventually is going to win this race by about a neck. So I just love the way the horse finishes up in here because I think this is a pretty decent horse from the Paul Courtbard on the inside. And Daryl's really asking, and the horse is really, really responding here at this portion of the proceedings. So I think that Major Threat is just majorly good right now. And I'm so happy for Mike because it's been a tough start to the year for Mike Panowski, but they got the win last time out, and I think this horse would come right back and win yet again.
Yeah, this was the lone winner for the outfit and had to wait till the last race last week to get it done. Now, I did go to the 3 just for fun. I thought, why not? Let's see if James can shake them up. Yeah. You know, we do this at Woodbine too. We have a rider over there, Rafael Hernandez, and I say the same thing. I'll make it first start Rafi, and that's because, you know, he seems to really monitor the horses that he wants to get on, and it works. 9 times out of 10, it works. So we'll see if it works here tonight with Long Shot Panic too. That's the 7th on the card. Let's go to race number 9. 9th race is the feature race for the night tonight. This is the Open 2, so not the regular Open that you're used to. Instead of $40,000, it's $30,000 for the Open 2, and you will miss some of our regular Open buddies that normally compete. But I think the big story tonight is everybody wants to see what Bruno No is going to do for the New Connections. He was a private sale after a fantastic campaign as a 3-year-old. He bankrolled $100,000. Gabby Sasso did a tremendous job. Her and her team, she did a tremendous job. And, you know, here's the thing. And I've sold horses and stuff like that over the years, and sometimes you just have to let them go.
I know.
You know, the offer is there, and as much as you would love to do it,
you can't refuse.
That's right. and you know, as much as you would love to keep the horse and try, the money is sitting right there, and it's hard to say no to. So he will debut for the new outfit, and 2 inches have been added to his hobble, but I have to assume that's because he has grown.
Watch this qualifier.
Yeah.
You want to see a nice qualifier. Holy smokes. I watched this qualifier and I was like, wow. That's all I could say. Now, normally when a horse goes to the front and makes every call a winning one, you're thinking, oh, you know, how nice is it? Like, you know, the horse was never a challenge or whatever. But just watch this horse finish up in here. This is unbelievable and absolutely under tight lines right now. Well, the private purchase, according to Track, it took place on January the 12th. And this would have been the first qualifier for these connections in here. And I mean, the chest on this horse is just absolutely massive. And he is just doing this so powerfully. I mean, he's almost playing, I think, at this point. And those are no slouches in behind this horse,
Look how big he is compared to everybody else. That's why those hobbles are coming.
And he's just an absolute monster. Yeah. And, you know, he's moving up technically in class in here, but I'm not too worried about that. And look at that run out. I mean, I just can't say enough about the qualifier there with Bruno No. The Garnet's going to go in a different direction. It's going towards Lose World, who's obviously really good right now. And I'm going to keep a keen eye on Lose World very closely there in race number 9.
Yeah, but we're all going to be watching Bruno for that race. Yeah, so that is the 9th race, our on-track feature for the night tonight. Let's go to the 10th. 10th race non-winners, the 3,400 in their last 4 starts. And I think we have a player here in codename Cigar Box this evening. I know his races haven't been, you know, up to snuff as of late, and he's been dropping. Non-winners at $12,000, $9,000, non-winners at $6,000, but this is it. We're at non-winners at $3,400, and he's been racing against the likes of Pacino, Hanover, Poseidon, Sealster, Ginger Tree, Finney. Like, this should be a good spot for him tonight. Hungry Man, same can be said here. You know, he's coming out of the non-winners at $6,000. He's been racing against good horses. This is a McNair horse who's on the drop as well.
I'm taking a shot in this race, Lisa. I'm going towards Gentle on My Mind.
I did toss Gentle on My Mind, and the last race was great.
It was. No, the draw's terrible, as we all know. But we're going to get a number. And the last time the horse was in this category, raced very effectively. And you know what the game plan is with Gentle on My Mind? He's a stone cold closer when he's at his best. So he's going to need a little bit of, help up front. But I think I got a bit of a theory, and I could be totally wrong about this. When horses are closers like he is, and you have post 10, just float out, and if you get away 8th or whatever, all you got to do is hope that you get some flow up front, and hopefully that materializes.
The only thing that would concern me about closers, and who knows, because we just don't know how this track is going to play tonight.
I know.
And it is good, and it is a little wet out there, so is it going to be a tiring track? And then that's great, because then the closers, the backfield will end up getting moving, or, we'll find out, right, once we have a couple of races here tonight, because it's a different surface than what we were working with last night. So, 10th race on the program, codename Cigar Box, Hungry Man, and Gentle on My Mind, with good races last start out, and you'll see Gentle on My Mind's conditioner racing tomorrow, and Anita Ouellette, she has won this race before, and she will be driving in tomorrow's ladies race. Let's go to the 12th. 12th race is how we wrap things up, and it is nominals of $6,000 in their last 4. That jackpot high five carryover is well over $82,500, and we have a field of 10. And once again, you have some horses dropping down, some horses moving up, and Soaring Now is a Louis Waugh drove this horse last year, bet down as the favorite for Vic Putty, was such a nice winner. I mean, that was a pretty easy win. I understand the horses moving up, from non-winners of $2,500 to face non-winners of $6,000, but I think this is a confident horse coming into the race.
Oh, I would agree. And Louis drove him like he was the best horse last week. He went to the front, just made every call a winning one, and they were able to pull off the victory. The problem is you've got a bunch of droppers in this field that are really dropping. I kind of like this early action. I like the fact they're making an equipment change here tonight. I kind of like the fact that Dougie's, taking over, first time Dougie, or at least first time Dougie in a while type of factor in here. Might be able to wake up early action as well. They claimed the horse. The horse has been okay. Had really no chance when having the second tier start, 2 starts go, and then last time I had post 2, and I just think was maybe in a little bit too tough. So with the reclassification here today, I'm going to go in that one's direction. I'm curious about this Paul Court horse, My Ultimate Snowy, who now all of a sudden gets on to Lasix, because this one, that was a big move the horse made last time out, and the way the chart line looks to me, maybe the horse did bleed a little bit.
That's what I was going to say. That chart line screams bleeder to me.
The horse stopped pretty good.
Yep. So we can understand Lasix, but for Jeff and I, like to say, when we're over in Toronto, we love first start Lasix, but here in this game, it can be second start, right? So we'll see what he does, how he responds to that Lasix here tonight. Heather Pickett's got a fun little horse in this race too, Drinkin' Buddy, who's been very good to her. This is a homebred. He's been able to make almost $200,000. He's kind of a steady Eddie that she can take anywhere. Here, Western Fair, the horse picks up checks. But I would include
last year.
Yeah, and I would include this horse in my jackpot high five.
Me too.
So and Borth, who normally drives early action, is gonna stick with the 2, Legion Sealster. So maybe another one you might want to toss in as well.
Yeah, that Putty Barn all of a sudden's got some momentum. They were stuck on 2 wins there for a long, long time. They won a double, I think it was last week at some point.
Yeah. So that's always good when things start to kick into gear. We've got some picks to pass along your way, or at least some plays to pass along your way tonight. As mentioned, we have 3 pick 5s. We'll start things off with Jeff's early pick 5.
Yeah, the first race for me, I might not be using enough, to be honest with you. I don't even have the 4, who's the current favorite, that being Wallace Hartley. That might be a bit of a mistake on my part, but those are the 4 that I'm gonna be swinging for the fences with, the 1, 5, 8, and a 9 in the second. I'm gonna go 3 deep in there because I kind of like that concern race. Louis the Legend and PL Taco. Now we get to my keys. Exotic Sand goes off the claim for Fellows, and then in the 4th, my key is going to be Major Perry, and then I'm just too deep in the 5th. I'll use Count on Gourd and Fire Control.
Okay. You have a mid pick 5 too. Good for you.
Yes, I did not do a late one.
I did the late.
Okay, there. See,
we got it all covered.
Yeah, I find sometimes the mid pick 5 gets lost.
Yes, it does sometimes.
So no keys for me along the. Oh no, I do have 1 key in the 8th. Who's my key in there? That is, Always Be Sweetest, which has been so good as of late. But then I got some coverage, obviously, in the 6th. We've touched on that race already. 7th race, we touched on that one too. And in the 9th, I've got Lose World and Bruno No No No. I could have keyed Bruno No No No, but just in case he needs one, I'll go too deep in there, and then I'm going to load up in the 10th race, the 4, 5, 8, 9, and 10.
Okay, and I have a late pick 5 that I sent in. And 8th race, I'm going to key Make Me a Legend. And then I'll go a little deeper in the 9th race. Wait a minute. This isn't me. You know what? This is a... Hold on. Let me look, guys. This is a mid-pick 5.
It's a
not
mid-pick
a late
5.
pick 5.
Oh, okay, so we gotta
I think. Maybe? I don't know. Even I can't remember what I did now. I keyed the 4 JJ exit. See, that doesn't look right to me. I don't know. I might have got confused with three pick 5s. Threw a curveball at me. I got to look at that and see what I sent in. I'm not 100% sure on that one. Scratch that. Take it off of Twitter. Plays of the night to pass along your way. What have you got?
Plays of the nights. Yes, who are they? We're going to find out for you right now because I can't remember.
We can't remember.
Here we go. I'm going to start off in race number 1. Blue Bar, my bounce back prospect, right now at 11-1. My new purchase is going to be Bruno No. My price play is Gentle on My Mind, and my best bet of the night comes up with the nightcap, that being early action. I think we might get a bit of a price there on early action.
Aha. And I have just discovered that what I sent in is a mid pick 5.
Okay.
So it's race 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. And I think...
See the 3 pick 5s, 3
Yeah, they did do it to me because I knew I keyed Bruno No. All right. I went to Gigi's Dream. I thought we might get a price tonight. PL Taco, I think, should be able to find his way into the winner's circle. Solidarity. I think this one's ready to rock. And my long shot comes up in race number 7 tonight, and that's Long Shot Panic. I shouldn't say a long shot. I've made him a beware, right? Because just beware. James is getting behind him for the first time, and who knows what he's going to be able to get out of him this evening. Bold Spirit is a top selection from Kevin Plaucha. He's in the opener on the program from the Marfisi barn. You get Major Threat in race number 7 for Garnet, and Ghislaine has Fire Control in race number 7 on the program, and that is the Forgy horse, I'm pretty sure. Hold on, let me take a look now. Fire Control in race number 7. I don't see Fire Control in race number 7.
Fire Control is not in race 7. Fire Control is in race 5.
Race 5 for Fire Control, guys. Is Major Threat in race 7? All right, yeah, Major Threat's in race 7. Fire Control is the Fry horse. No, that's the Fry horse that came home pretty strong last start out. So there you go.
So so we have to make some changes. Is what you're telling us?
We have to make a few changes to the graphics, everybody. live programs.
There you go.
Yeah,
there you
they're
go.
always lots of fun to deal with. I want to talk about what we have coming up for you, including tomorrow's Women's Day race. It's International Women's Day tomorrow, and we will have full field of gals competing in race number 3?
Yes.
On tomorrow's program. So looking forward to that. They're driving Pacers this year as opposed to the Trotters, and we also have a post time change to announce too. Now remember, tonight you're going to move your clocks ahead. You spring forward. So next Friday, we'll change our post time. So we'll start at 6:30 as opposed to 6:15, which means the pregame show starts at 5:45 instead of 5:30. So keep that in mind for next week.
Okay. I like it.
Did you put it in your phone,
you're
Jeff?
keeping me on top of... I got to put my clock ahead tomorrow, the new post time next week. I'm all over it.
See, normally when we change post times in Toronto, he has to remind me to leave for work. And I put everything in the phone that says, leave now.
Yeah.
You know, and not only does he have to worry about me, he has to worry about Robert
Track
Geller,
announcer
too.
Yes. I start to panic if it's 11 o'clock and I haven't showed up yet.
Well, guess what? We're getting close to race number 1 on the program tonight. We have 12 races in store for you this evening. We'll see how the rain affects the racetrack and the wind as well. The opener comes up shortly.